We're going to paper 1, May, June 2019, Economics AS level. Question 1. It said, statement 1, in 2017, the Kenya government spent 172.5 billion on healthcare. This is 8% of its annual budget. Statement 2, the African Union believes African countries should spend 15% of their annual budget on healthcare. Which one of the following best describes the two statements above? Well, for the two statements, the first statement is about positive statement because it's about figures and facts. So it's a positive statement. And the other statement is valued judgment because they said it should. The African countries should. So because there's should there, it makes it a valued judgment. So let's go to the options. So both statements are positive. No, one is positive, one is negative. One is positive and one is normative. Statement 1 is positive and statement 2 is normative. Yes, the answer is B. Did you get that right? Okay. Both statements are normative. No. Statement 1 is normative and statement 2 is positive. No. So the answer is B. Clear?
Yes.
Question 2. The Chinese government introduced the carbon emissions trading scheme. The objective of this tradable pollution permit scheme is to reduce carbon emissions by 1. Forcing highly polluting firms to buy permit from low polluting firms. Yes. Because when there's pollution permit, it simply means government has quantified the amount of carbon emissions to be emitted. So government would not sell further. The only place you could get for high polluting firms, the only way they could get extra pollution or extra polluting permit is through their competitors who have not used up theirs. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So the answer is A. We go to question 3. We said, which one of the following is an example of market failure? When we talk about market failure occurs due to inefficiency in allocation of resources. That is market failure. Here they say low prices create an incentive for firms to switch production to more profitable activities. That is not market failure. It increases production, it increases output, and that is good for the business and it's good for the society. It's not a market failure. It could be seen as external benefit. Excessive administrative costs are involved in meeting environmental regulations. This is government failure. It is not B. That's government failure. Example of government failure is excessive administrative costs. C. Government provision of street lights that is greater than social optimum output. If government is providing street lights and is greater than social optimum level, it's government failure. Do you understand? So, and D. Insured consumers take more risk in the knowledge that the insurer would pay any resulting cost. That is a market failure because it is moral hazard. Moral hazard, which is an example of market failure. That's question 3. Clear? So it is D. Question 4. The diagram shows the market for education. The cost and benefit is there. So based on this graph, it's telling us that there is social benefit, which there's social benefit here. Do you understand? If the graph is going up, it means social cost is increasing. Here, the social benefit is increasing. And what we have here, the marginal private cost. What is marginal private cost? This is the cost to the firms. The cost to the firms for producing extra unit of output. That is marginal private cost. And we have marginal social cost, which is the cost to the society for the production of the extra unit by firms. So here we have our marginal private cost equals to our marginal social cost, and our marginal private benefit is the same as the marginal social benefit. So it simply means, so here our marginal social benefit is more. It's increasing. Our marginal private social benefit is increasing more than the marginal private benefit. So this means there is welfare gain rather than welfare loss.
And RUX.
So do you understand? So the answer is B. Now let me explain further. If our marginal social cost exceeds our marginal, if our marginal social cost is less than our marginal social benefit, it is, if our marginal social cost is less than our marginal social benefit, we'll see it as a welfare loss. Do you get the point here? Or if your marginal private benefit exceeds your marginal social benefit, it's still considered as welfare loss. Do you get it? But if it is the same, it's still welfare gain. So the answer is B. Is it clear?
Yes.
So question 5. The diagram shows the relationship. Take this, please. Question 5. The diagram shows the relationship between the price of Xbox games console and the quantity demand of PlayStation 4 games console. So here we're talking about cross elasticity. That's the price of product A the quantity demanded of product, the price, the change in price, the change in quantity demanded of product A as a result of a change in price of product B. That is cross elasticity of demand. So here they said the price per Xbox game consoles is increasing, and the quantity demanded for PlayStation 4 games console is increasing. So we see there's an increase in the price of Xbox brings about an increase in the quantity demanded of PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4.
So that means they are both substitute goods, which means an increase in demand of X will reduce the quantity demanded of X to increase the quantity demanded of product Y. Do you get it? So the answer is C. Is it clear? So it's a substitute good. Is it clear, please?
Yes, sir.
It is not complementary. It's not inferior. It's not unrelated.
Substitute.
It's substitute. Yeah. Do you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Question 6. Which one of the following can be deduced from the table? We have corn to be inelastic, we have rice to be inelastic, and we have wheat to be inelastic, but more than both corn and rice. So the extent to which it is inelastic is more than corn and rice. So they said which one of the following can be deduced from the table? Corn, rice, and wheat have price elastic supply. No, they have price inelastic supply. It is not A. A 10% increase in the price of corn will cause a 23% increase in quantity supplied. A 10% increase in the price of corn will cause a 23% increase in quantity supplied. No, because it is more inelastic here. So an increase in price would not still change the quantity. An increase in the quantity supplied. It's not B. It's not
C.
B. Sorry. So C.
It's
They said
D.
I'll check anyway. It's D. Yes, I did that. An increase in price of rice will cause a 2.7 decrease in quantity supplied. No, it will rather cause an increase. It is not bad because it's negative. If it is negative, then it causes a decrease. So and D, they said a 10% increase in price of wheat will cause a 3.1% increase in the quantity supply. Yes, it will be 10 multiplied by 0.31, which is 3.1. And why? Because wheat is more elastic compared to corn and rice. So the time in which corn and rice will be germinated or will be planted to germinate is far more. Will take time more than wheat. Is it clear?
Clear.
So the answer is D. We go to question 7. In 2016, the Nigerian government removed the subsidy on petrol. Draw a diagram to illustrate the impact of the removal of the subsidy on the equilibrium price and quantity of petrol. So here, an increase in the equilibrium price. So the question says, in 2016, the Nigerian government removed the subsidy on petrol. Draw a diagram to illustrate the impact of the removal of the subsidy on the equilibrium price and quantity of petrol. So first, when we talk about subsidy is a financial help from government, which simply means it helps in the consumption of goods and the production of goods, because subsidy would reduce the price of goods. Do you get that point, please? So if the Nigerian government has removed subsidy on petrol, this will reduce the price. This will reduce the quantity produced of petrol, and as a result of that, the price of petrol would increase. So what am I simply saying is this? I wrote subsidies are financial help from government to encourage production or consumption. So removal of subsidy will lead to an increase in the cost of production for those firms that are involved in petrol. So as a result of that, the quantity supplied of petrol would reduce, bringing about a leftward shift in the supply curve for petrol. And at that point in time, there will be contraction in the demand curve, bringing about a high equilibrium price. So this is it here. So there's going to be a high equilibrium price. So we have the price would increase because there's subsidy. Before subsidy, the price is at Q1. But as soon as, are you with me, please?
Yes, sir.
Before subsidy, the price is at Q1. But as soon as subsidy, before the removal of subsidy, the quantity demanded and quantity supply is at P1, Q1. Now there's subsidy. With subsidy removal, which means the cost of production would increase for firms. As a result of that, there's no incentive or motivation to produce more. So they will produce less. So producing less will mean that the supply curve will shift from S subsidy to S. So there's going to be a leftward shift in the supply curve from S subsidy to S. As a result of that, the demand curve will contract. This is the demand curve, right? It will contract. And making it contract means price has increased. Because based on the law of demand, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. So the demand curve here will contract from Q1 to QE. As a result of that, we're going to have a high equilibrium price at PE. That is the effect of subsidy. Subsidy based on the fact that it increases the production and the consumption of goods. And if government of Nigeria, based on what the case study is saying, as we remove subsidy, removing subsidy will mean that the cost of production will increase. As a result of that, the price for petrol would increase, making it difficult for consumers to consume. That is about that. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So we go to question 7, right?
8.
Question 8, sorry. So for question 8, are you there?
Yes,
It said
sir.
the chart shows Canada's total electricity supply was generated from different resources in 2015. Then we have the case study. This is a pie chart anyway. It's a pie chart. So we move on. Here they said, okay, with reference to the Canada's electricity generation, explain the difference between renewable resources and non-renewable resources. And when we talk about renewable resources, these are resources that can be used and used again. So that means we can use them now and we can still use them after now. That is renewable resources. An example of renewable resources is solar or wind. They are renewable. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then we have non-renewable resources. We call them non-renewable resources because they can be depleted. As soon as we use them, they are done.
Finite.
They are finite. They are limited in supply. So, example is coal or natural gas. As soon as you use them, they are done. Is it clear? Any question about that? So we go to question 9. Are you there?
Yes.
It says Singapore economy is highly dependent on trade, which means without trade, Singapore cannot survive. That is what it means. With the rest of the world, in 2017, Singapore exports were 173.3% of its GDP. And when we talk about GDP, that's the gross domestic product, which is the measurement of a country's PPC, your output, the value of what you produce. So they said, explain one role of financial market in such an economy. And when you talk about an economy is a system that is trying to solve the basic economic problem. That is what an economy is. So based on this fact, based on what we read, so the first thing you have to do is to define what a financial market is. And what's a financial market? A financial market is that market where currencies and other monetary instruments are traded, like the stock exchange, the exchange rate. This is where we do it in the financial market. So here I wrote, financial market is the market where currencies and other financial instruments are traded. That means buy or sell, to be bought or to be sold. So the goal of financial markets are as follows. 1, I wrote availability of cash. So in the financial market, we have the financial institutions like the banks. So the banks make funds available. So for those who want to borrow money for investment. So with the financial institution, which is part of the financial market, individuals, economic agents like government, individuals, firms can go to the banks to borrow, to invest in capital goods or consumer goods. That is one. They said 1 anyway, but I wrote 2. That's the first one I wrote. And the second one I wrote is about provision of markets for equities. That means where you can buy shares. That's the stock exchange. There's a stock exchange, which is an institution where shares are being traded, bought and sold. So it is also part of the financial market. So provision of market for equities through the stock exchange, which is an example of financial institutions, it allows shares to be sold by firms to potential shareholders. Is it clear?
Yes.
Good. So that's about question 9. Question 8. So we go to question. No, is it question 8 or 9?
No, we're now at question 10.
Now we're going to question 10. Thank you. Have this. So for question 10. For question 10, here they said, in September 2017, Centrica increased the price of gas and electricity by 12.5%. Before the price rise, Centrica had 12,800,000 customers, but this fell by 800,000 after the price increase. Ceteris paribus, which means all things being equal. Calculate the price elasticity of demand for gas and electricity from centrifugal. Show your workings. So first, you have to define what price elasticity of demand is. And for price elasticity of demand, is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. That is what price elasticity of demand is. Now, based on the case study, they said there's decrease of 800,000. So first, what is the formula for price elasticity of demand? Percentage change in the quantity demanded over percentage change in the price. That is price elasticity of demand. So here we have the case. So I have it here. So there's there's price elasticity of demand, which is the degree. The formula is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. So here we have our P1 to be 12.5, and P2 will be, our P1 will be 100, and our P2 will be 112.5. Then our Q1 is 12,800,000, while our Q2 is 12 million, based on the fact that it's 12,800,000 minus 800,000. So we have 12 million. So we have Q2, which is this, minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. So at the end of it, we have minus 800,000 divided by 1.6 million. So that gives us minus 1 over 2, which is 0.5. So the PED for gas and electricity is inelastic. I think it's clear. Is it clear, please? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that takes us to question 11. Okay.
The shawarma wasn't good.
Okay. So we have Hi everyone. So this is an economics class, and we continue to do past paper economics in AS level, which is WEC11/01. Thanks for everyone coming to live. Thanks for everyone coming to the program.